You ever have someone threaten to burn you out of your own life just because you won't write a check? Because that's where this story starts, right at the moment. I realized my new home came with a war built into the soil. Not just any war either, a damn HOA war, the kind with threats scrawled in red sabotage at sunrise, and a showdown where the only law left standing was me. Let me back up a sec. When I first turned off the highway and started bouncing down that long dirt road, I was feeling pretty good. 60 acres of Montana, just stubborn enough to suit a fool like me, stretched out under a sky so big you could see all the trouble coming your way, except apparently for the kind wearing pearls and driving a gleaming white SUV. That first morning, all I wanted was a hot coffee, a deep breath, and maybe a second chance at peace after 20 years chasing nightmares in Vegas. The quiet almost felt fake. Even the wind didn't want to make a sound. My optimism lasted about 10 minutes. She arrived before I even finished unloading the first box. Stepped out of her SUV like she owned the sun and gave me that look, the one like you're some kind of stray she's about to call animal control on. You must be the newcomer, she says, like my existence is already an inconvenience. She hands me a thick Summit Pines HOA welcome package like she's offering a free membership to hell. There's a mandatory initiation fee, $3,500 due immediately. And you'll need to sign the membership agreement. I try to keep my voice steady. Ma'am, my land isn't part of Summit Pines. You don't manage this property or that road. She doesn't blink. That's a community-maintained road. You can't use it without HOA approval. I told her the first half was county-owned, the second half covered by a decades-old easement. My right to be there wasn't up for debate. She leaned in, voice dropping low. You're either with us or against us. Yeah, that happened. And I dealt with cartel muscle gang captains, politicians who thought poison was just a handshake away. But none of them ever threatened me with a homeowners association. I told her as politely as possible, no thank you, not interested, my land's independent. We'll see how long that attitude lasts, she said, smiling like it hurt. Then she peeled off, dust swirling, leaving me with that welcome package in the trash and a bad feeling in my gut. Trouble didn't wait long. Next week, a white pickup shows up, Westbrook County Inspection Services magnet stuck to the door. Two guys get out, one built like a linebacker, one shifty-eyed, clipboard in hand. Inspection for fire compliance, got a complaint about your barn. I tell them to go ahead. They poke and prod, mutter about angles and combustible storage, basically fishing for something. The short one finally leans in, whispers, no offense, but you'd be better off joining Summit Pines. These headaches, they go away for members. I just stare long enough for him to realize he's said too much. They leave with no citations, just muttering about future reviews. That night, I find the first message. Red paint 3 feet tall dripping on my woodshed. Are you blind and smaller, join or lose? Maybe I should have been scared, but all I felt was déjà vu. Vegas had its own version of this tagging warnings, a way of letting you know the game just got real. But this wasn't Vegas. This was my land. I bought 6 trail cams, buried them around the road, the tree-lined fence posts. First couple nights, nothing. Third night, 3 a.m. 2 figures hooded park a truck down the hill, sneak up to the barn, spray more threats. One moves like a young woman, flips her hood back, scratches her head. The truck, new Dodge Ram, dark gray tinted windows, no plates. I clipped stills, stashed them, and sent copies anonymous, of course, to a sheriff's tech. I trusted just the coordinates and a note, threats escalating HOA possible. Not ready to play all my cards, not yet. Then the next threat arrives in envelope, no return address. Inside sheriff or not, everyone burns. No signature needed. I spend the afternoon at the county recorder's office digging up everything on Summit Pines Charter's right-of-way failed annexation proposals. Turns out 2 years ago they tried and failed to expand their borders. My parcel was circled in red. Rejected barely. Suddenly cars start crawling past my place. Blue Hyundai, black SUV, gray minivan. Phones raised behind tinted glass. The whole circus trying to make me flinch. But I don't. I just keep rotating my trail cam batteries and watching. The quiet doesn't last. Nothing ever does out here. I wake up to an explosion. The whole house shakes before the sound hits a roar, a flash, and the smell of burning diesel. I throw on boots, sprint outside. My John Deere's a bonfire, flames taller than the barn paint, boiling rubber puddling into the dirt. Fire crews show up, quick perks of being known in a rural county. By the time they're done, the tractor's a melted skeleton. A firefighter I know says, "This wasn't electrical, Shane. Someone fed it gasoline." Back inside, I pull footage from the fence cam, 4:07 a.m. A figure in a hoodie red gas can moves fast, practiced. Climbs onto the tractor, empties the can, flicks a lighter boom. Even through grainy IR, the silhouette matches. Young woman, the same from earlier. I send the video to forensics, no name, just time, place, arson, suspect, female. I play it cool, go to work, keep my mouth shut. The fewer who know, the fewer leaks. But the leak comes anyway. Karen herself on the Summit Pines Facebook page. Some folks don't respect our community. Heard our neighbor lost his tractor. Actions have consequences. Then if I were him, I'd think about moving before more accidents happen. Not even subtle. And then a former HOA groundskeeper texts me, says he heard Karen arguing with her daughter. Let him rot without his damn tractor. Daughter. Suddenly my suspect pools down to one. Now it's just a matter of time. My cams catch the gray Ram on the service road pulling into Summit Pines. Someone in dark clothes walks to the Aldrich house. All the puzzle pieces fit Karen's daughter Juliana Jules Aldrich, prior for vandalism history of stunts, recently posted with a can of lighter fluid for a prank. Then a twist maintenance worker corners me behind the grocery store sweating bullets. Says Karen yelled at Jules, "Next time wear thicker gloves, don't park where people can see." He hands me notes he's too scared to keep at home. That's all I need for a warrant. By that afternoon, my team's ready. We roll into Summit Pines with full lights, no more playing coy. Karen's house is lit up, security cameras spinning. I serve the warrant and her face shifts from righteous to rattled when I mention her daughter's fingerprints. Gas cans, gloves, deleted messages. Everything falls into place. As the cuffs go on, Karen shouts, "You think this is over? This community stands behind me." But when the neighbor's doors open, nobody steps up. We bring in Jules. She doesn't fight, doesn't run. Sits in the interrogation room twisting a hair tie, staring at the photos, her with the gas can, the message scrawled in red, middle finger up in front of my barn. Finally, she says, "It wasn't supposed to blow up. Mom wanted to scare you, make you cooperate." She signs the statement. Karen. She lawyers up, calls it political targeting. But we've got everything: emails about forced annexation, confidential drafts showing my 60 acres penciled into their fake HOA map, a note, "Neutralize resistance early." The DA files charges. News breaks like wildfire. Suddenly, Summit Pines isn't an HOA, it's a crime scene. Lawsuits fly, fraud, coercion, illegal dues fences moved overnight to match the new lines. One Vietnam vet stomps into my office with a letter from Karen threatening him for a non-compliant shed that never crossed the property line. "Didn't think she was an arsonist too," he grumbles. County orders a full audit. Mayor scrambles, claims she knew nothing but her emails say different. Karen offered her campaign donations to grease those rezoning plans. A recall petition's out before sunset. The board collapses, membership drops by 70%, lawsuits keep coming. The mayor resigns. And me, I build something new, a full-size John Deere replica Sheriff red and blue at the end of my drive. Across the blade, "Not your HOA property." Next to it, a sign, "Private land sheriff protected." A monument not to fire but to standing your ground. In the end, Karen gets 12 years barred from anything with a title, and Jules takes a plea, 5 years probation on top. I skip the sentencing, stay busy, rebuilding, not for fear but for principle. The county tries to give me a commendation, but I turn it down. Not a hero, just a man who didn't blink. That summer, the HOA's dead and gone. People finally understand property lines aren't just lines. They're the only thing keeping you free when the wrong folks get too much power. Every morning now, I drink coffee on my porch, watch that steel tractor catch the sunrise. Sometimes it rusts, and that's fine. It's not meant to move. It's meant to remind. I still get calls from folks across the country, "Man, I thought it was just me." It never is. You just have to speak fire to people who only understand smoke. So tell me, what would you do if someone tried to run you off your own land? Where do you draw the line between neighborly and necessary? Drop a comment, share your story, because out here we've all got one. If you stand for something, or you've ever faced down a bully with a title, let folks know how you handled it. That's how you keep the next Karen in check.